love both of you in High School Musical, the series. I was not expecting the teachers to have so much to do, but I am loving what you do. So my first question is for Mark. Just because I feel like Mr. Mazzara just really needs to get his robotics program out there. How is it doing? How are you feeling about, losing students to theater?
Yeah, so I think he's changed his mind, and he no longer sees it as losing students to the theater. He sees it as potentially enriching the youth of East High.
Wonderful, wonderful. Maybe we'll have singing and dancing robots in the near future. I think
That
that we
would
should
be
see that.
something special.
I would love that. Kate,
Yes.
Miss Jen has her past coming back to haunt her present, to loom over her future. Can you talk a little bit how that's affecting her decisions this season?
Well, listen, bring an ex-boyfriend into any situation and it makes it a little messy. Am I right? So Miss Jen has more to deal with than she was planning on. However, she can always make it work.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Speaking of making it work, I love how, in her little quirky way, Miss Jen is always teaching the students valuable lessons about life and theater, which actually helped me in my own life. So, would you guys say that High School Musical has taught you anything about the process, about theater, about being on Disney Plus and beloved by millions of teenagers?
Well, I would say it has taught me to appreciate every phase of your life. It has reminded me how magical my teenage years in theater were and has given me a new appreciation of now being seasoned, as I like to say. And I love watching what's happening with them. So yes, it does. Theater teaches you about life and life teaches you about theater, right? Symbiotic.
I love that.
Yes, I would agree with that. And it definitely has helped me see my own high school theater years in a different light. It really is a show in and of itself, putting on a show in high school. Always, but in high school especially.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Some of the most memorable moments happen backstage.
that's
There's no
right.
lies there. No lies
It
there.
happens backstage. Yep.
Now, speaking of, this newfound appreciation for the theater crew that Mr. Mazzara has found, I also feel, and this is not even, I'm not even spoiling season 2, I feel in season 1, I feel this, he maybe has an appreciation for Miss Jen. Can you talk about how begins to view Miss Jen, how that dynamic has changed, how you guys interact, etc.?
Yeah, I think at the end of season 1, he he kind of finds himself enjoying being a part of something that is like all in it together. And he enjoys assisting with the show. And I don't think he's planning on it, but when the applause happens and the Robotics Club stickers fall, he kind of feels like he's a part of something, and it lifts other people up, and the thing that he cares about can also be a part of it. So I think he's viewing it no longer as an enemy, but as a comrade in the theatrical, I mean, in the teacher space. She's Miss Jen is that's a fellow teacher. She's because at the beginning of season 1, she's not a teacher. She's a person without a last name.
Right.
now I view her as a fellow.
Name.
So now he's viewing her as a potential teacher and potentially even a friend. That's as far as I think he's made it by the beginning of season 2.
I support this. And while there is the start of something new in friendship with Mr. Mazzara, Miss Jen still has Ricky's father. I'm so sorry to that man. I don't remember his name. But Ricky's father is still...
The character name? Yeah.
Yes, the character name. How are things progressing or not with him? How is Miss Jen feeling about the state of her love life?
Well, that is complicated as well. I mean, Miss Jen met Mike not knowing he was the father of one of her students, but of course that is not something she can ignore. So Miss Jen is also, she like any parent, like any teacher, you start to struggle with your own desires and what's best for your kids, and you'll just have to see what happens.
I look forward to seeing what happens. But speaking of what's best for the kids, you guys have this wonderful opportunity to work with so many of like what I assume will be the future faces of the industry. So, is there anything that you feel you've passed down to them, or even that you have learned from the youth?
Mark, say the thing that we say about Sophia.
Sophia.
Mhm.
Sophia is the youngest member of our cast, yet she conducts herself with such a high level of professionalism and enthusiasm and joy and maturity. So whenever somebody has a moment where they're feeling like they're not at their best or they're not figuring out like how to behave in this moment, the saying on set is, "What would Sophia do?" Because she's just so exemplary of what we would all want to be. She's a really good example for me of genuine enthusiasm, and then the younger cast has definitely taught me this sense of boldness, especially Olivia, Josh, and Sophia all kind of have this like believing in themselves attitude, and it doesn't ever come across as egotistical, but the level of belief of what they can accomplish is very, very high, and it makes you think, wait, maybe I should be believing more in what I can accomplish too.
Ah, there you go. I love that. There you go. They inspire you to believe, as they should. Um, of course, I have loved every musical number, and I love how there's always a spin on the songs that already exist. So, without spoiling season 2, do you guys each have a favorite musical number from season 1?
Oh, from season 1. I mean, it's really it's picking your children, isn't it?
Right.
Your favorite child. I mean, we just wondering every time we hear it, love it. All I want, can't believe. I mean, so proud, can't believe Olivia wrote it.
Mm.
The duet they wrote, fantastic.
I really, just for a moment is really enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, Joe Serafini singing Status Quo in the original key. Come
That's
on.
true. Status Quo was
Ready
pretty
Broadway.
impressive. Pretty impressive.
It's Ready Broadway right there. Yeah.
Now, for your characters, your individual journeys, personal lives, etc., is there anything that you'd like to see from Mr. Mazzara or from Miss Jen, if not this season, in future seasons?
I'm very curious how Mr. Mazzara would express himself musically, and that's something I would like to see at some point.
That was also a question of mine. So you stole my
Yeah.
question. That's all right. What would you
Good one. I don't want to say anything that might spoil anything that happens.
So you're getting what you want, is what you're telling me. There's something you want, and you're getting
going
it.
in the correct direction.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. But thank you both so much.
Wins the race. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I cannot wait to see you fulfill your desires, and I hope that you or your robot sing one day. Thank you both so much.